There is a YouTuber called Joel Haver. He makes really good content and he's very popular because of his animations in this specific style. He made a tutorial on how you can create something similar yourself and it is very clear and simple. I tried it myself and I'm really happy with the results. Why I'm mentioning that is because he said something very important that I respect a lot and agree with.
In order to show you how I make my animations, because a lot of people have been asking, and I want to get that information out there because I think the more creative tools people have, the better. Art should be in the hands of everyone, and we shouldn't have to break our backs and our wallets and waste our lives to make it. You know, we should be able to feel good while making art.
So in the spirit, I'd want to show you how I made that Bongo Freddy thing that y'all keep nagging me to make the second part of, which will never happen by the way, fuck off. Maybe that will inspire you to create something by yourself, instead of just stealing my video and re-uploading it without the credit. That would be nice. It's very simple, really easy to understand and few people were asking, so let's take a look, shall we? It will be the easiest to break down the very first shot, which is Freddy alone. This image right here is...
like onions.
Stink?
Yes. No.
Make you cry?
No.
Oh.
It has a higher refractive index, which means it sparkles more than diamond, and most of all, it costs a fucking fraction of what diamond does.
No! Layers! Onions have layers.
This image right here...
Have layers. Onions have layers? You get it. We both have layers.
Going from the bottom, we've got the background, ears, Freddy with the table, and hands. Both hands are on the separate layers and are independent from each other. This is because it's much easier to fit them with the music, instead of having 16 different combinations to juggle with. Each of the hands can be in 4 different positions. It can be either up or pressing one of 3 buttons. The way I made it is that the color of the button pressed is connected with the hand. So when I choose that I want the second key, the hand is connected with the button, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Changing with the pressed keys is really easy. If the same hand is supposed to press 2 keys, it goes from up to the first, then up again, and down on the other. Tweaking the length of clips with each position can give different results depending on what you need. So now it's time to sync it with the music. You listen to the notes and try your best to make Freddy press the correct buttons. I did that, you don't have... whatever. Obviously there are only 6 buttons available, so it's not really what it looked like on the real piano, but I tried my best to simulate that by making him go in one direction when the notes go up or down. In this first part, Freddy plays both the lead and the bass line, so that's why having control of both hands individually was a life hack, since each one is doing its role in different tempo. After you have synced everything nicely, it is time to animate the ears, or at least that's what I did. Each one is on separate layer as well as hands, because they are moving independent from one another. You set up the anchor point so that once you move them around they look normal, and make keyframes. You know, once here, once there, reacting to music, whatever you want. What I did to add a little robotic effect and just that extra smooth fluff is, for example, here. We've got ear going fast from the top to the bottom. Instead of making it suddenly stop, let them go further and bounce back up. That adds that bit of spring in their movement and really makes the difference. Obviously you don't have to animate ears at all. Heck, you probably won't animate anything. I'm just breaking down everything so you can learn something useful, or maybe you were just curious how that specific part is made, I don't know. The last final touch is blinking, and it's the easiest thing out there. It's just another layer that covers the original eyes. You sprinkle that shit randomly throughout the shot and you got yourself nice blinking action. Easy stuff. That is pretty much everything from the basics. The second shot adds Foxy and Bonnie. They work exactly the same way. We've got background tables with torsos and ears and hands, each one on its own layer. You sync one hand second, move to the next character and the next one. Bonnie is playing percussion, so he has much less hand positions, but it works just the same way. Hand is up or doing something. Those sound waves are just 2 different images added on top of everything. Each one is a single frame long. Third shot, as you probably suspect, you smart cookie you, is made exactly the same way. So now that you know all the basics, may I interest you with the fun stuff? I'm sorry to disappoint you. You're not the only one noticing Chica eating pizza. I just offended 20% of my comment section, but whatever. This is pretty basic animation made out of different drawings put after each other, some squeezed or stretched to make it more fluent. I'm not going to teach you here how to animate like that, this is more complicated. I mean, this here you can clearly see how it works, but in general, animating frame by frame is complicated. But really fucking fun, you should try it. Do you want me to teach you? Tell me in the comments, maybe one day I'll consider that. Most likely you didn't notice, but sometimes Foxy moves his hand from one key to another instantly. I added an extra frame between those to make the transition smoother. This right here is called Animation Smear, and you'd learn more about these and why they are the coolest shit if you left the comment asking for the tutorial from before you twat. On the beginning, flickering light is made with use of additional layer, which is just this shot, but with dark blue tint to it, and doing the same thing as with blinking. Super easy. Freddy emerging from below the table is the result of separating him from said table, adding hands to make it simpler, and moving that layer alone. At the end, I stretched him a bit to add that bouncy effect similar to what I talked about when we are doing the ears. You should have paid attention. Another thing is Golden Freddy disappearing, and it's again achieved by putting layers on top of layers and making them show up or disappear. Easy. Same with transition between shots, layer on layer, blending with each other and moving together. Last thing is fun in the background, and this is just 2 or 3 different images, each one a single frame long, one after another and looped throughout the whole shot. Super simple. And that would be it. This is the whole project. It was the last video I have made in Sony Vegas before I switched to Adobe Premiere. I put all that together myself, by hand. I synced it with the music by hand, all the editing by myself. I drew everything myself as well, made sure the different layers and elements look like they are the same picture and that no connections are visible, that the hands look like they are always with the torsos. It took time, a lot of it, but if you were to do it on the smaller scale and without so much shading and textures, it wouldn't take that long. I had a sketched version ready relatively quickly. So there you have it. Hope you understood how it's made and that you learned something useful. And if not, then maybe you just had fun watching in general, I don't know. If you have more questions or just want me to explain something in more detail, I suggest you to catch me streaming on Twitch. Hop in the chat and ask there, I will gladly tell you and show you what you need. I plan on making more art streams, so if you want to learn something about drawing or animating, you may look out for these. Perhaps you will see some behind the scenes of the new FNAF animation that I'm making? I don't know. Anyway, I'm Lisu and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See ya.